course, and we're going to learn a lot. That is what a crash course is. A crash course is a course that is so fast that you might crash. Okay, I don't know where the term came from, but yeah, so we're going to be learning a lot today. Of course, at the moment, we are going to increase the numbers. And what we're looking to do is that we're going to see how we can use Power BI in building, not just building, in deploying, not just deploying, but in automating financial reports. And that's what we're going to take a look at. We are going to have fun. I say this all the time. And we are going to interact as well. And we would also see how you can get into tech. Okay, we would also see how you can get into tech. But before we go ahead, I'd just like to get a feel of everyone on the call, just to ensure that everyone is with me. If you know you're ready to get into what we have for today, to be able to, if you know you're ready to take a look at how you can work with Power BI, which is actually known as the Power Business Intelligence, you know you're ready for all of those things. I want you to send a "I'm ready," or you can send a 1. So let's use a 1 instead. I think that would be easier to type. So you can send a 1, that's the number 1, to the chat box. And so we go ahead. Thank you very much, Ms. Stewart. Okay, so Ms. Stewart, Damilola is good to go. Benjamin is good to go as well. Okay, fantastic. I need more responses. What about the rest of us? Are we good to go? Are we good to go? Hi, Zay, are you good to go? Fabulous. Femi, are you good to go? Henry, okay. So Edge is good to go as well. Fantastic. Okay, so this session is going to be in less than 2 hours. We're going to be done. We'll take a look at the things that we need to know. No need to, beat around the bush. We're going to go straight to the point. We get what we need to know. We see how we can transition into tech, how we can get that career of our dreams, and then we call it a day. And in so doing, we're going to have fun, like I mentioned. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'll share my screen so we get to begin. Okay, just give me a while. Okay, fantastic. So we are going to be doing 2 things. We're going to build a report, not just building a report. We are going to go ahead to deploy that report. And by deploying, we are going to push that report to what we call the Power BI service. And they would also see how we can automate such a report. We'll be working with 2 major tools, or 3 major tools rather. We'll be working with the Power BI desktop. We'll be working with the Power Query, and we would also be working with the Power BI service. So you stand to learn a lot. So let's move on. But first of all, you would want to know, especially if this is the first time you're joining any one of our sessions, who is Tenalytics? What is Tenalytics about? What did they do? Okay, so Tenalytics is an edtech firm. And what we do is that we help as many Africans transition into tech, the Black community in general. And we do this by lowering the entry barrier. So the reason why we started Tenalytics is that we took a look at the industry and we noticed that you don't really find so many Africans. Of course, you can find the Asians, you find people of other races, but you don't find many Africans in tech. And then when you take a look at some other fields, so now you find so many Africans. So you take a look at the fields called like what they term the survivor jobs. Now you see lots of Africans. And we wanted that to not be the case because tech is very, very lucrative. You have good work-life balance. You have high rewarding salary. And of course, it's easy for you to transition into due to the numerous opportunities available. We offer 8 programs ranging from data analytics to business analysis to data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, the HR project management, also known as the Scrum, the cybersecurity, and of course, coming soon is the AI engineering, and that's something that you should look forward to. Our facilitators are from Fortune 500 companies, so you are sure of getting the absolute best. The absolute best. And a little bit about me. Okay, I'm Isis Agmulaho, as you can see from the name tag at the bottom left. And I'm the lead in charge of training operations here at Analytics. I have experience ranging from data analytics to business analysis, power platform engineering, and also predictive AI engineering. And I've been able to train over 1,500 professionals across 4 continents. Enough about me anyways. Let's get into what we have for today. Like I said, we are going to be very direct. We'll hit the nail on the head. We'll get what we need, and then we'll move on. Build, deploy, and automate a Power BI report. Build, deploy, and automate a Power BI report. We are going to be using a case study. We are going to be using a case study to understand how to work with Power BI. The two major career paths that we are going to be taking a look at today are the data analyst and the financial analyst. And the case study that we would be taking a look at is, we'll call this company ABC. So we're going to give this company a name. I'll call this company ABC. So you've just been employed in company ABC. It's your first day, and you've been given a task to get insights from the company's data. It's the end of the year. Yeah, it's literally the end of the year. And many organizations are going to be having end of the year review. And what is end of the year review? End of the year review is when companies take a look at what they did for that year and if they were able to achieve their goals for that year. End of the year review is when companies take a look at the sales. So what was our revenue like? How many customers did we have? What was the sales like? And during this time, you usually get data analyst or the data product analyst, the data analyst in the company. They're usually very, very busy. So this time, let's assume that it's also the end of the year for this particular company, and you've been given a task. Okay, you've been given a task. We need to understand what our customer preferences are. We need to understand our total revenue, our sales trends, because don't forget, it's a financial report. A financial report. That's what we're working on. So we want to take a look at what's our revenue like. What do our customers like to buy? Which of our products are performing well in the market? What does the market say? Which of our stores are doing as well as we want them to do? And there is the data set. I'm going to send the data set. Okay, I'm going to send the data set over to the chat box. So for those of you that can follow along, you can go ahead to download the data set, okay, and follow along. But if you are unable to do that, if you can't follow, if you won't be able to practice alongside, there's absolutely no problem. The session is fully recorded, so it's recorded, so you would get access to the recording and every other thing you need, the materials, for you to be able to practice alongside. But for that to be the case, there's something important that you need to do. You need to fill the attendance form. Okay, so my colleagues have been sending the attendance form to the chat box. All you need to do, just go ahead. It won't take you more than a minute. Open up the chat box, click on that link, fill in the details, so you get access to all of the materials, so you can go ahead later on to practice alongside and also get the skills on how to work with Power BI in building, deploying, and automating a report. On the chat box, you would also find the link to the data set. Okay, you'd also find the link to the data set. So I just sent that to the chat box now. So you can go ahead and click on that link, and the data set would be downloaded. When you open up the data set, you would notice that the data set looks something like this. This is what the data set looks like. This is what the data set looks like. So, just give me a moment. Just make this. So this is what the data set looks like. So we are going to convert this. We're going to convert this into a dashboard for the organization to be able to make sense of the data. For the organization to be able to say, you know what, this is what we have. This is what our sales are like. This is what we are doing. I can see some persons are already downloading the data set, so we can see someone over here, anonymous cheater. Okay, so click on that link I sent to the chat box so you download the data set. And we are going to convert that data set into this. We convert it into a dashboard, a sales dashboard, a dashboard that tells us what our numbers are like, a dashboard that tells us about what is our revenue like, what products are being purchased by customers. Are we all ready to go? Are we ready to get into this to see how we can convert that data set into this? Are we ready to go? Come on, I need responses. Let's send the response to the chat box. Even though you're good to go, just send the one. Okay, send the one to the chat box. You want to see how you can create something like this. Not just create something like this. You want to see how you can go ahead to deploy. And I'm going to explain what it means to deploy a report, okay? And then you also want to see how you can go ahead to automate this. It seems just 3 persons are ready to go. Just Jojo, Luis, and Luis and who? Henry. What about you, Adedira? Okay, what about you, Technopop XP? Okay, what about you? So Femi is good to go as well. Even Ajayi. Ajayi is also good to go. Okay, fantastic. All right, so Felix is good to go. Fantastic. So let's go, since we are all good to go. Now, this is Power BI. This is Power BI, Power BI Desktop. You can download Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is a free tool. Okay, it's a free tool. You can go on your Microsoft Store, or you can just go on Google Chrome, on any browser of your choice, and just type in download Power BI. And then the first link you would usually see is the link that will link you directly to the Microsoft website, where you can go ahead to download the Power BI. When working with Power BI, there are certain things that you need to do. There are 3 main concepts that we need to take a look at. I'm talking about the extract, the transform, and the load. For you to work with Power BI, you first of all need to extract. And what does it mean to extract? Extracting means that you are connecting some sort of pipeline between your Power BI, that's the Power BI desktop, and your data source. A pipe. When you say extract, what does extract mean? Extract means to drag out, to collect, to suck. That's what extract. So by extracting, we will connect some sort of pipeline between Power BI desktop and the data set, the data source. So Power BI can get all of the information that it needs. Power BI can be connected to various data sources. It can be connected to your database. It can be connected to your Dataverse if you're familiar with the Power Platform. It can be connected to Azure if you're into cloud computing. It can be connected to JSON file if you're a developer. It can be connected to your CSV files, your Excel workbook. So many options, so many things you can connect to. For you to extract, what we do is that we come over to where we have the get data. At the top left, you find your get data, the get data option. And then we select get data. And what will pop up would be the different data sources. Okay, so that is the link to download the data set. Click on the link and it will be automatically downloaded. So these are different data sources that we can connect Power BI to. We can even connect Power BI to GitHub. If you have a GitHub account, we can connect Power BI to LinkedIn. If you have your LinkedIn Sales Navigator and you want to use LinkedIn you want to use Power BI to analyze your sales, your figures, your Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, your SharePoint list, your web. You can also use Power BI to scrape data from the web. So many things you can do. Your Dataverse, like I mentioned earlier. But what data source are we using now? We are working with the Excel data source, the Excel workbook. How do you know it's the Excel workbook? Because when you go ahead to download the data, you would notice it's in an Excel format. That's an Excel XS. It's called the Excel XS. XLXS. Okay. I believe when Microsoft gave that name, they were thinking, oh, Excel. Excel XS, XS Excel, so much Excel. So they called it Excel XS. Okay, that's XLXS. That's saying Excel XS. In case if you didn't know before, so that's I just gave you say fun facts. So that's what we're working with. If your data source is a CSV file, it's a CSV file, then that means we are going to select text stroke CSV. If it's an XML file, you can select XML. What's XML? XML files are usually files that are used in notebook, like your notes, your notebook, your text file, your notebook file, whereby you're writing codes, like your CMD files. Okay, so that's where you can find the XML. But what we're working with, like I mentioned, is the Excel workbook. So I'll click on Excel workbook, and then I'll go ahead to click on what? To click on connect. And I wait for the magic to occur. And what happens? My File Explorer opens up, and then I now need to locate the file, the data set I downloaded. The data set that I downloaded is the customer shopping data. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'll select open. I click on that and I select open. Again, for those of us that might not be able to follow alongside, for those of us that might not be able to practice with me, for those of us that might not be able to follow with iSocial, what can you do? You just need to ensure you fill the attendance form, because by so doing, you would get access to the recording, to the materials, the data set, every single thing you need to practice alongside later on when you have the time. So you can go ahead to get your cup of juice on jus d'ouvert if you speak French, okay, or your ice cream, la glace de la fraise. Okay, that's French with an accent anyway, so I speak French with an accent. Okay, but yeah, if you want whatever it is you want to get, you get it, and then of course you are working, you're practicing while you're relaxing. So please ensure you fill the attendance form. It's very, very important. Okay, that being said, the customer shopping data. Now that I've clicked off, now that I've selected the file, I've been taken to the navigator. For one, I love to refer to the navigator as a Power BI Force Cloud. Now, disclaimer, there's no such thing as a Power BI Force Cloud. At least not yet anyways. I plan on sending a letter to Microsoft telling them to change the name from Navigator to the Power BI Force Cloud, because I think it's more of a Force Cloud than a Navigator, because at the moment, the data is being stored somewhere. It's not yet in Power BI. It's somewhere. So we could call it a Force Cloud. But anyways, the official name is the Navigator, at least for now. So I'm going to go ahead to select the data. I'll click on the checkbox to select the customer shopping data. And then I can see a preview of what the data looks like. Now, the next stage after extracting is to transform. Transforming is all about getting what you want. An example, let's say you go to a restaurant. You go to a restaurant and so you go to a restaurant, a fancy restaurant, and you make an order. So you order for 2 oysters and 3 let's just say you order for 2 oysters and maybe 3 crabs, or you order for a crab dish. Okay, so yeah, like I said, it's a fancy restaurant. So let's say you order for a crab dish. Then you are given mashed potatoes. Now this is not this is not saying mashed potatoes are not good, okay? You know, it's a nice meal, okay? But let's say you're giving mashed potatoes and you ordered for what? A crab meal. That's crabs. What would you do? And I want to see our responses, okay? You ordered for You ordered for what? You ordered for crabs and you got mashed potatoes. What would you do? You went to a restaurant. I'm going to explain again. You went to a restaurant and then you made an order. You ordered for something and you were given something else. What would you do? So I want to see responses. Okay, let's send our responses to the chat box. What would you do? I'm going to use this to explain the concept. What would you do? Oluwatobi, what would you do? You asked for something and you got something else entirely. Okay, so Damilala says, I will reject the order. Okay, Henry says, I will return it and ask for what I ordered. Exactly, I'm going to return that. You know what? I will return that and I'm going to ask for what I ordered. Fumi says, I'm going to blast them. Okay, for me, it's all about violence. There's no room for peace here. I'm going to blast them and then would ask them for a refund ASAP. I'm not, I see, you know what? I'm no longer interested. Right now, I want you to give me, I want a refund right now. Lois says, I'm going to complain to the manager for a refund. Lois is going to say, please, can I see your manager right now? I would like to see your manager. I would like to see your manager. And Isaiah says, I will reject the order and tell them to correct my order. But the funny thing is that there are some of us that would actually just go with it and we take the mashed potatoes. Okay, but anyways, what are we gonna do? So why would they do that? Our group was activated politely. So Melanie is more of like politely tell them that's not what I ordered. So Melanie does not want peace. Okay, but now yes, we are right. We are going to tell them that this is not what I want. This is what I want. That is what transformation. That is what data transformation is all about. The T, which stands for transformation, is when you try to get the kind of data that you actually do need. I'm talking about when your data is not in the correct format that you want, you go ahead to transform. In transforming your data, there are different things you can do. That is where your data cleaning occurs. Your data is dirty. You ask for clean data and you got dirty data. What do? You transform. Data transformation is where you carry out your data filtering. Oh, there are some things that you don't want to be in your data. You go ahead to transform. Data transformation is where you carry out data enrichment. There are some things you would want to be in your data that is currently not available. And what do? You go ahead to transform. Data transformation is where you go ahead to get your crab meal. You asked for A, you were given B. And so what do? You tell the waiter, this is what I want. Data transformation is carried out in Power Query. Power Query is where you get to transform your data. Although right now, our data is exactly what we want. We wanted a crab meal, and that's what we got. We wanted vanilla. Let's say we ordered for ice cream and we asked for a scoop of vanilla. You asked for a scoop of vanilla ice cream, and we were given a scoop of vanilla ice cream, not a scoop of chocolate. So we have exactly what we want. So we do not really need to transform in this case. So I'm going to go ahead to load directly. So I'll go ahead to click on load. And by loading, I'm skipping transformation and loading my data directly into Power BI. So we can go ahead to start building. Okay, so clicking on load, I wait for it to load up. Okay, so waiting for it to load up. I think this is the way they wait in movies and in cartoons, like you're pacing up and down. And okay, so now we are waiting. Maybe I can even go to sleep. Okay. So we're waiting for it to load for Power BI to do its magic. So it's loading. Okay, and it's just loaded. Fantastic. So now we have our data loaded into Power BI. We skipped transforming because our data was everything we wanted. And now we are on Power BI desktop. We've loaded our data on Power BI desktop. So now we are going to go ahead to build our dashboard to get our insights from the data. When building a report, the first thing I like to do, now this is not important. This is not like, oh, you must do this. If you don't do this, that means your dashboard is wrong. That means your report is wrong. No, no, no. It's just a personal preference. And that is giving my background a color. And that's what I'm going to begin with. So I will come over to visualization. Over here, I have my what? I have my, I'm going to click on the format your reports page. And then I'll come over to Canvas background. And then I can change the color to whatever I want. So I can select color. And then I have different colors I can choose from. And in case I want a special kind of color, because I got to learn not so long ago that we have so many kind of colors, that we have burgundy, okay? We have lilac. What kind of colors do you know? I want to send the kind of colors you know, and I want like I'm not talking about your primary, your traditional colors. I got to learn that there are so many kind of colors. There's a burnt orange. When I was like burnt orange, what's burnt orange? Okay, so what colors do you know? What colors do you know? What colors do you know? I know teal. I know there's teal. Teal is even somewhat traditional. Teal is somewhat traditional. What colors do you know? So Kingsley says onion red. Okay, so we have what? Onion red. Melania says peach. So we have peach, we have coral. We have coral. Mitsua says mint green. Mint green. Are you kidding me now? Mint green? What's that? Lois says khaki color. What does khaki color look like? Is that what kind of color is that? Is that brown or something? Okay, I think someone mentioned that we had the apparently it seems the ox. Is there a difference between charcoal black and black? Charcoal black and is there a difference between charcoal black and black? If there's a difference, then I'm really dumbfounded right now. Okay, but yeah, so all of these different colors that we are talking about, the onion red, the mint green, the charcoal black, if those are the kind of colors that we are searching for, if those are the kind of colors that we want, all we need to do is to come over to the more colors, and then we can select the colors of our choice. You can go ahead and select whatever it is you want, from your burnt orange to your burgundy to your whatever, to your charcoal black or your cockroach brown. All right. So in this case, I'm just gonna select probably some like a light, maybe like a whitish red. I really don't know what this color is called. Maybe this peach. Okay. But I'm also going to reduce the transparency. I'm going to reduce the transparency from 100% to 0% so I can see the color. Because 100% transparency means see-through. That is not what I want. So I take the transparency down to 0%. The next thing we're going to do now is to start getting our insights. The company wants to understand customer preference, what the customers like, what are our sales like. So we're going to go ahead to get some different insight. This is what we are looking to build again. Don't forget, this is what we are looking to accomplish. Okay, this is what we are looking to accomplish. So we are going to begin by taking a look at the quantity by category because we want to take a look at what item do customers love to buy from us. Which of our product categories is performing the best in terms of what? Quantity. To get this done, we are going to be working with a column chart. There are different kinds of charts, different kinds of visuals that we can work with. In this case, we would work with the column chart. Now, is there a specific reason why I decided to go with the column chart? Not really. I just want to go with the column chart. We'll try to diversify things to give you to work with as many charts as we can. Okay, but I'm going to be working with a column visual in this case. What I want to see are the product categories that are performing the best in terms of the number of items that were purchased. So I'm going to come over to my data panel. I need to ensure my column chart is selected, my column visual is selected, so I can see the different fields, the x-axis, the y-axis, the legend, the small multiples, the tooltips, and I get to populate what I need to populate to get my answers. And in this case, the two fields I'm going to be working with are the x-axis and the y-axis. So I'm going to drag my quantity to the y-axis, and for the x-axis, I'm going to drag the category to the x-axis. Okay, and then I have this. So with this, at a single glance, we can already tell the product that is performing the best. And that is clothing. We've sold over 100,000 clothing materials. So that is telling us that the brand is known more for their clothes than for things like cosmetics, food and beverage. So it has been, it's just like what example can we use now? Okay, it's like some companies that, okay, for example, Samsung. Aside in Asia, that's in Asia, especially in Korea, that's in South Korea, Samsung is known for so many things. Samsung is a household name, known for electronics, for phones, for everything. But outside Korea, like in the West, okay, and in Europe, Samsung is known for their phones. So this is telling us that customers buy more clothing from us than other items. And with these, some decisions can be made. Maybe we want to just focus solely on clothing, since it seems other items are not really performing as much. Or maybe whatever it is we are doing at the moment to push our clothing brands, that we can replicate the same for our other items, from our cosmetics to the toys to the shoes and every other thing that we offer at the company. Moving on. Another thing that we would like to take a look at, okay, we'd also like to take a look at the gender distribution and the preferred payment method, because we want to know what's our customer base like? What customers do we appeal to? Are we more appealing to the male audience or to the female audience? Because with this information, you would know how to structure your ads, the kind of ads to run. Or should we run ads that maybe it's all macho, or should we run ads that are more appealing to the female audience? It's like it's like it's like when you take a look at when it's like some adverts, some alcoholic beverages, the adverts of alcoholic beverages. Who are the audience? Who is the audience? The audience are adults. Okay, if an adult buys an alcoholic beverage, they're not buying it for their kids. Okay, they're not buying it for themselves or their spouse. And so when you take a look at the adverts, especially for things like your whiskey, your scotch, which are more predominant, they are more taken, okay, by the male audience. That's what the data says. So I'm not being stereotypical now. Okay, that's what the data says. So you notice that the ads are more tilted towards black, like the background is black. You have some kind of it just has this masculine feel somewhat. Okay, so with your data, you are able to know how to go ahead to position your brand relating to the audience that you that's relating to the audience that you are appealing to. So that's something we want to find out as well. And in this case, I would like to work with my donut chart. And before you insert your donut chart, there's something that is very, very important. I need to ensure, or you need to ensure, that you deselect the column chart. We need to deselect the column chart. We deselect the column chart so to avoid rewriting the chart, because if I have this selected and I click on the donut chart, you see it changes, and that is not what I want. So I deselect by clicking on an empty part of my report before I insert the new donut chart. Now, what do I want to see? I want to see what the gender distribution is like. So I'm going to drag gender to the legend and gender also to the values. And with this, I can see that we are more appealing to the female audience than to the male audience. Now, this might be the reason why we sell more of clothing and cosmetics. Again, I'm not being stereotypical. This is what the data is telling us. Okay, so ISISA did not say this. The data said it. Okay, so that is telling us that we are appealing to the female audience more than the male audience. Another thing we would like to see is what is the preferred payment method? Talking about preferred payment methods, how do customers like purchasing their items from us? How do customers like going about things? Do they like using their credit card? Do they like buying from using the online method? So for us to know how to position a brand. So I'm going to go ahead to this time I would like to work with another donut chart, and then we are going to drag the payment method to legend and also payment method to values. And we can see that the cash pay 44% of our customers pay with cash, and then we have 35% that pay with their credit card, and of course we have 20% that pay with their debit card. If you know you've not filled the feedback form, click on that link and fill it in. Moving on, we would also want to see which of our malls are doing well, because there are two ways you can get profits as a business. There are two ways you can get more profits as a business, either by increasing your price, okay, either by increasing your price or reducing your cost. And of course, increasing the number of customers you have. I know that, but let's ignore that for now. Okay, so it's either by increasing your price or decreasing your cost. So we want to take a look at the malls that are performing well. So that those malls that are really not doing as well as they should, maybe we might look at closing down those malls, because it also takes a certain amount of money to keep them running. This time, I would like to work with the bar charts. So I'm going to bring up my bar chart over here. I'll bring my bar chart over here. And then on the y-axis, the bar chart is the opposite of the column chart. Okay, so on the y-axis, I'm going to place my shopping mall on the y-axis, and then I'm going to place the revenue on the x-axis to see the mall that brings in the most cash. And we can see that the mall of Istanbul is actually does well. That's our mall that's located in Turkey. And we have the Canyon Mall, we have the Metro City, the Metropole VM, and then at the bottom we can see we have another mall in Istanbul as well. So maybe, just maybe, the company would be looking to close down these malls, and whatever resources were supposed to go to these 5 would be pushed to the top 5 to ramp up sales. One more visual we'll need to insert. Next, let's take a look at what our sales trend is like. Because at the end of the day, it's a financial report. And every financial report should have some sort of trend for me to be able to tell that, oh, this is how we've been performing from month to month. Oh, this month we had more profits than the last month, than this month. And so that we can also try to replicate what we did properly in previous months and new months. I might just be going round and round using the same words, and you're like, oh, what is he even saying? Okay, just stay with me. So we will take a look at the visual together. When working with trends, the best visual to work with is your line chart. So I'm going to insert my line chart, and then on my x-axis, I'm going to have my invoice date, because the invoice date is representing the date that the order was made. So I place my invoice date on the x-axis, and then I currently have the date hierarchy set up. I'm only interested in the month, so I'm going to take off the year. I'll take off the year, I'll take off the quarter, and I'll take off the day, leaving just the month. And then the revenue would come over to the y-axis. And with this, we can see what the sales trend is like. We can see that in January we made peak sales in January, 25 million in January. And then we had a dip in February, a dip in March, a huge dip in February, March. April, we had a dip. We had a slight rise in May, then a dip in July. It seems January is our peak period. So it's the new year, people are looking to buy more items, and it's the new year with new year resolutions come new with new year resolutions come new wardrobes. I know that many of us on the call, you can't remember the last time you changed your wardrobe. Okay, so maybe going into the new year, you're gonna change your wardrobe, get new clothes, because at the end of the day, this company is known for their clothing items. Egbe says 2020. So that was the last time you changed your wardrobe. Egbe. Okay. So you need to change your wardrobe. But like the new year, so we're almost in the new year. So start preparing. Start preparing. Okay, it's very important. Something I've noticed is that adults don't take care of themselves. Okay. So please ensure once in a while, get that nice clothes. Okay, get that nice clothes, get the nice shoes. Go out there and buy ice cream. You might have noticed I've talked about ice cream a lot. Okay, so not that I love ice cream, but I like ice cream. Okay, so go out once in a while. And when I say go out, I don't mean take the kids along with you, Because some of you might be deceiving yourself. Oh, yesterday I went to the park. But no, you went to the park with your kids. And when you are there with your kids are the one having fun and not necessarily you. Especially when the kids are not grown. Okay? So you need to watch them, you need to do this, you need to do this. Okay, so take yourself out once in a while, okay? Okay. Take yourself out. Either just you or maybe you and your spouse. Just, it doesn't have to be expensive, okay? Just, if usually you love, if let's say you love tacos and you usually buy just one taco, buy 2 tacos, okay? Or if you usually buy 1 hot dog, buy 2 hot dogs. Go get that barbecue and eat it alone. Don't share. Don't take it home. If you take it home, you need to give your kids. Okay? Don't, when you but just find somewhere and eat it alone. You're not being selfish. It's called self-care. Okay. So it's called self-care. Anyways. Okay then. So something else that we want to add in. Something else that we want to add in is that we would want to take a look at let's take a look at the KPIs. Let's add in some KPIs. And what are KPIs? KPIs are key performance indicators. They are quantifiable measures that you can use to determine the performance of an organization. They need to be quantifiable. And what does quantifiable mean? That you can tell the difference between 1 and 2, that they are numerical. The quantifiable measures we would want to take a look at now. We're going to take a look at the revenue and also the quantity of items we sold. And to do that, we'll be working with the card visual. I'm going to select the card visual. The card visual is located it's at the 5th row, 5th column, 4th row. And on the field, I would drag revenue to the field. And I can see that we made 251 million in sales. Okay, so I just reduce the size of this a little so I have more space. Okay, just almost there. Okay, so we have the revenue now. And another quantifiable measure that we would want to see is the what? Let's take a look at the number of items we had to sell to make this amount of money. And so I would work with another card visual, and then I would drag quantity down to fields, and I can see that we had to sell 299,000 items. And then one more thing. I also want to insert a let's say I also want to insert a filter. Okay, a filter, something that we can use to filter the dashboard. They're called slicers. So we can take a look at certain points. Maybe we want to take a look at information for just the male or information for just the female. That's then we are going to use the gender as a filter. Or maybe we want to use the category as a filter, whatever the case might be. So I'm going to insert my slicer. Over here, I have my slicer. I will click on that, and then I'll bring that to this point and drag gender to the field. Okay, and then I'll also change the slicer setting. I'm going to change the slicer settings to drop down because that's what I want to work with. So I can go ahead to select male. So I have a blank here. This blank, to take off the blank, I would need to go to Power Query, okay, and take this off. So we'll do this later if we have more time. But with this, I can click on female, and I see the entire dashboard changes. I can see the amount of money that was bought in by a female customer, say 150 million. 179,000 items were purchased by the female customers. For the male, we have 101 million that was bought in by the male, 120,000 items, and we can also see the different items that were purchased. One last thing would be to give our dashboard a name. So I'm going to give my dashboard a name, and I will do that by using a text box. So I'll select a text box, and then I would increase the font size to, let's say, 36, and I'll call this my sales dashboard or my sales report. Any of them flies. Okay, I'll just reduce this box, center this, and then I'll move. To move the box, you need to ensure you need to ensure that you are dragging from the extreme ends. Okay, so now I have this. Next, I would want to make the dashboard look prettier, because right now it's just looking like a bunch of I really don't know. So I'm going to make it prettier. I'm going to start with my bar chart. So I'll click on my bar chart. I'll go to my visualizations to format your visual. And then the first thing I want to do is to change the colors of the bars. So I would also scroll to the bottom. Over here, I have bars, and then I can change the color. So I'm just going to select orange. Okay. And then I will do the same for all of my visuals. So for this, I'll click on my column chart. I'll also change the color on the columns this time, to orange. For my bar chart, for my donut charts, I would expand the slices. I'll make this, okay, so we already have orange for the, so I think I can go with black. Okay, and then for the other, I can go with orange. Okay, so we already have black. And then for this, I could go with, let's say, a darker shade of orange. And for my line chart, I'll click on my line chart, scroll to the lines, and then I'm going to change the color to orange as well. Next, I want to remove the grid lines. I don't really need them. So I will start with the bar chart again. I select the bar chart, and then I will turn off the grid lines. And I will do this for every one of my visuals. Again, if you're not able to follow now, ensure you fill the attendance, very important. Click on the link, fill the attendance so you get access to the records, so you are able to follow later on. You get access to the materials, the data set, so you can practice later on, okay? Next, I want to give my visuals rounded edges. Rounded corners just makes things look better. Okay, so I want to give my visuals rounded corners, and that is what I'm going to be doing now. So I would click on, I'll begin with my bar chart just like I've been doing previously. I click on that. I would come over to my visuals. Then I'll click on general. So I'm going to come over to the general tab. And then over here, I have effects. And I can see visual border. So I will turn on the border, expand, and then I'm going to make this, let's say, 6 pixels. I'll make the rounded corners 6 pixels. And I'll do this for the others. So I click on this. I come over to general effects. I turn on the borders. 6 pixels for rounded corners. Turn on the borders. 6 pixels. Okay, this will be 6 pixels as well. And this will be 6 pixels as well. Things are looking up. Okay, things are looking up. So it's looking better already. Just expand, make this bigger a bit. The next thing I want to do is to rename some of these columns. Some of them, not really everything. Okay, so I can rename some of these columns if I want. For example, the count of payment method, I'm just going to click on that. I'll come back to my general, and over here I have title. I will call this preferred payment method instead. Preferred payment method. Okay, and I'll call this gender distribution. Gender distribution. Things are looking better. Now, for visuals, for KPIs, I'll click on the first as a quantity, and then I'm going to make this rounded. So I'll turn on the border, and I'll also give this 6 pixels. Okay, I can reduce the size. So I'll come back to visual. I want to reduce the size of the text. Okay, I want to reduce the size of the text. So I have the callouts value, and then I could make this, let's say, 30. Okay, I could make that 30. I could also just drag this down a bit so we get to read everything that's written. And then for the other, I would also make this 30 and also give these rounded corners. For my slicer, I also give this rounded corners. So this will be 6 pixels. And then I also want to change the background colors of the slicer. So I'll come over to my slicer, to general, and then at the background, currently I have the background white. I'm going to make this orange. And then I want to change the font color so we can read what's written in there. So for the slicer, for the values, I'll click on the drop down. The color is currently white. I'll click on that and change this to, it's currently black. I'll change that to white. And I can also increase the pixels. For the slicer header, I would also make this white. And I can increase the pixels to, let's say, 14. For my border, I think I can make the border white. Just think that'll be better. Instead of black, I could make this white. Okay, so I think this looks better. And then for my KPIs, beginning with this, I think this looks good. I don't think I need to change anything for this. And then for my sum of quantity, I could make this maybe orange. So I'll make the background orange. So I'll come over to effects. I'll make that orange. And then I'd also change the font color. And lastly, for my title, I'll give my title borders as well. Okay, so we've successfully built our reports. We've successfully built our reports. This looks amazing. Okay, and this was something we just did in a couple of minutes. So we are done with the first phase, which is build. But we also need to deploy and then automate. What is deploy? Deploy means that we are going to be giving access to this dashboard. We'll be giving access to other people in the organization to this dashboard. Because when you build a report, the report is not just for you. Maybe the manager needs to take a look at the report to understand what is really going on. Okay, to understand what is really going on. Also, at this point, they want to see what are our sales like, what are things like. So they want to be able to view the report. But you don't want to have to start sending, like saving the file, sending the file over. No, you don't want to do that. That is the reason why we have what is called the Power BI service. The Power BI service helps you to share and collaborate with individuals. So you can share a report that you've worked on to the manager, to a team member, anyone in your organization, for them to be able to view. Power BI service, though, is a paid application. It's a paid tool. So your organization would need to pay for you to get access to Power BI service. But I think there's a 30-day free trial that you can also try out. Okay, so we are going to be publishing this data, these reports to the web. We are going to push the reports to the web so every other person can view. And how do we push to the web? By clicking on publish. On the home ribbon at the right, you see you have something called publish. Okay, now by clicking on publish, it's asking us, do we want to save? So I'm going to click on save. And then I'm being asked, what would I like to save this as? So I'll call these financial reports. I'll say financial reports. Of course, your financial reports can be more than this when you're taking a look at. Anyways, we're going to that anyway. Okay, so this, I'm just going to call this financial reports. Then I'll save. So it's saving. And then it has connected me to Power BI service. I have a Power BI service account, and my Power BI service account is linked to my Power BI desktop. That is the reason why at this point you can see my different workspaces. So I'm going to select a workspace. A workspace is like a department. Like a workspace is something that everyone in that workspace, if you have a workspace, it's like you're creating a project whereby every person in that workspace will be able to view what is in the workspace. So I'm going to select the masterclass workspace and then I'll click on select. So that is published. So you can see it's publishing financial reports to Power BI. It's publishing and it has been published. So if I was to come over to my Power BI service, okay, if I was to come over to my Power BI service, you would notice this Power BI service anyways, okay? So I'm no longer on Power BI desktop. This Power BI service, it's a web application and it's a paid tool. So I'll come over to my workspaces. I come over to my workspaces. I select the masterclass workspace. And then I'm going to see my financial reports. By clicking on this report, it would show me what I built in Power BI desktop. Anyone that has access to this workspace, would be able to view the reports. Now, I really don't know why it gave this a blue color. I don't know what happened, okay? It's supposed to be orange, but anyways, okay? So this is our report. This is what we built. It also has the different functionalities, so I can click on the females to take a look at what's happening and every other thing. So this is our report. Everyone that has access to this workspace would be able to view this. On the workspace, I can give access to different people. So over here, you can see I have something called manage access. By clicking on this, I can give access to multiple persons in my organization. Okay, at the moment I have Joanna, but Joanna can view these reports at the moment, but I can also add in more people by clicking on add people or groups. So now I've been able to deploy. Okay, I've been able to deploy this to the workspace. And in case if you are wondering, Joanna is a man. Okay, because you might have seen a male profile picture and the name sounds feminine. Okay, so Joanna is actually a man. So Joanna Lopez. So he's male, just in case you're wondering. So Joanna can view this report. So if Joanna goes ahead to open, if Joanna goes ahead to open up the workspace, you will be able to view what I just uploaded. So we've been able to deploy this to the web. The next thing is now about automating. Now, what is automating? We are going to automate Power BI in the way that Power BI would help us refresh our data within a certain timeline. Because it could be that our data said that we have new transactions. So a customer tomorrow will come ahead to buy an item. And so by so doing, our reports will no longer be up to date. But by automating the refresh, we could make it that every day Power BI would go back to that same data set, would take a look at what happened, would take a look at that data set, scan through, check if there are any changes. And if it notices that there are any changes, it would automatically populate the dashboard. So you could come to the same report you built today, you go to the report tomorrow, and you will notice that the figures have changed. How do you schedule your refresh? There is the manual refresh, which you come over here and click, but we don't want to do manual. We want to automate things. For you to automate this, there's something you need. You need to have a gateway, an on-premise gateway. An on-premise gateway is used when your data source is on-premise. What does something mean? What does it mean to be on-premise? On-premise means that your data source is local. It is located on your PC. If your data source is on the clouds, that you are connected to a database or you're connected to a website, then you don't need an on-premise gateway. So for you to get an on-premise gateway, you have to download it. You download it, you set it up. Okay, it's easy. So you can just do a little research on how to set that up. I'm not going to be going into that. So I already have one. So what I'm going to do, I would come over to the semantic model of the financial report. Excuse me. The semantic model of the financial report. What is the semantic model? The semantic model is referring to the data set. That is your semantic model. So on the semantic model, when I hover around it, you see there's this option called schedule refresh. So by clicking on schedule refresh, it takes me to this page where I get to select, where I get to set up the refresh. Okay. So first of all, I have my gateway and cloud connections. So you can see my personal gateway. So I told you need to have a gateway. So I have a gateway currently running on my PC, which is, you can see it says running. So it is running. So I'm good to go. My gateway is good to go. It is currently on. All right. And then if I was using a cloud, if my data set was on it, my data source was cloud and not on premise, I get to work with cloud connections, but it's not. So I'm working my gateway. And then for my refresh, I'm going to come over to to my data source credentials. I'll come over to my edit credentials, and over here it's asking me to sign in. So I'm just going to go ahead to click on sign in. I can set the privacy level if I want to, but I don't want to go into that right now. So I'm just going to go ahead to sign in. So I've successfully signed in. And then next, I can now come over to my refresh, and then I can turn on my refresh, turn on my scheduled refresh. So I can select the time zone. And if I say, you know what, I want my reports to be refreshed every day, I select daily refresh. That's the frequency. I have what? Daily. Okay, I have daily. I can select daily. And then over here, it's asking me if, sorry, it's asking me if there's a failure. Maybe I try refreshing and there's a failure. Who should I signal? Maybe there's a failure when I'm trying to refresh. Who should I signal? You can either signal the semantic model owner. In this case, that I'm the owner of the semantic model. Or maybe there are other people I would want you to signal. In that case, I can select this contact and enter their email addresses. And then I click on apply. And the financial report schedule has been updated. I can click on add another time if I want to. If I want a specific time, or maybe I want you to refresh 2 p.m. every day. I can set that up. So now I've been able to automate my reports. So when I come back to my workspace, you would notice over here, the next refresh is going to happen on the 15th of November by 1 a.m. Amazing. So again, Power BI service is a paid tool, so you would need to pay, okay? And for you to set up your scheduled refresh, you would need excuse me, I think I need water, okay? You would please a minute, please. Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. So I just had to take some water. Apologies. So I would say that you would need the gateway. So right now, my dashboard will be constantly refreshing. I don't need to do anything. I can go about my duties. Anytime I open up my dashboard, I know it is going to be accurate. But what does it take to really be able to do all of these things? Who can go ahead to build this? Because we've been able to do everything we said we want to do, which is what we wanted to build, which we built. We wanted to deploy, which we did, and we also wanted to automate, which we did. These are some of the things that a data analyst and a financial analyst do. So who is a data analyst? Because how does this really help an organization? What does a data analyst really do? Is this what I'm going to be doing on a day-to-day as a data analyst? A data analyst is a professional that is responsible for analyzing data to give insights for data-driven decision making. A data analyst focuses on two aspects, two types of analytics. Talking about what happened and why did it happen. Those are the questions the data analyst answers. The what happened is your descriptive analytics, and the why did it happen is your diagnostic analytics. What we've just done is descriptive analytics. What happened? What is happening in the business? What is happening? What is our sales like? What is our revenue like? What stores are performing well? What? A financial analyst, on the other hand, is actually a data analyst, but a data analyst that focuses on what? Financial data. A financial analyst is someone responsible for monitoring the health of the organization, the financial health of the organization. A financial analyst is someone that identifies areas of key investment for the organization, going ahead to build financial models, going ahead to carry out different kinds of analysis, such as maybe your regression analysis on the company's financials. A data analyst is a generalist. A data analyst analyzes general business data, while a financial analyst focuses on what? The financial data of the organization. It's just like your doctors. In medicine, you have the surgeons, let's say you have the neurosurgeon, and then you have the GCP. You have the GP. That's the GCP's Google Cloud platform. Sorry, I don't know why I meant the GP. The GP is the general practitioner. If maybe you're having a stomach ache, you're having a headache, you can go and be the GP. Oh, this is what is wrong with me. Oh, I'm feeling pains here. I'm feeling pains here. And they'll be able to tell you, oh, this is what is wrong. The neurosurgeon is more of a specialist when it comes to matters of the brain, or the ophthalmologist when it comes to matters of the bone, they are specialized in a single area, while the GSP is more of just like a generalist. That is the difference between a financial analyst and a data analyst. And for you to be a data analyst, what do you need to know? A data analyst, first thing first, remember I talked about the fact that a data analyst and a financial analyst, they are both data analysts, but a data analyst is a generalist and a financial analyst is a what? A specialist. So for you, what you'll be learning as a data analyst and as a financial analyst, you begin with your problem solving, because you can't claim you are a data analyst or you can't claim you're a financial analyst if you do not know how to solve problems. The problem solving class will take you through the different problem solving approaches, from the 5 whys to the Cribs DM framework, talking about your decision tree, that's the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, okay, the prioritization matrix, for you to be a good problem solver. Because it's one thing for you to get insight, it's something else entirely for you to be able to tell the organization what they should do based on what you discovered. Then you move on to your Excel. Microsoft Excel is the bread and butter of every analyst. You learn how to analyze with Excel. Excel is not just a spreadsheet tool. You can carry out data analytics, data analysis with what? Excel. You learn about your SQL, which is a structured query language, because that is the language that you would use in interacting with databases. For many companies use databases, especially companies that have some kind of website. You would need to understand SQL to be able to interact with that SQL database, for you to query it to get the insights that you do desire. And then, of course, your Power BI, your Power Business Intelligence. And then the data analyst will go ahead to learn Tableau, while the financial analyst will then move over to the accounting fundamentals. Because the data analyst, like I said, is a generalist. So they need to have as many tools under their belt as possible. Tableau and Power BI are both business intelligence tools. Organizations that use Power BI tend not to use Tableau. And organizations that use Tableau tend not to use Power BI. They do the same thing. So if your company says, oh, I want someone that can work with Power BI, you are good to go. If the company says, oh, I want someone that can work with Tableau, you are good to go. So while the data analyst is getting more tools under their belt, the financial analyst then goes ahead to start learning about accounting, because you are a financial expert. Your accounting fundamentals, your financial analysis, how you can build financial models, how you can your valuation data, you can value different kinds of investments and different kinds of products, and of course your sensitivity and scenario analysis. Where the data analyst will go ahead to learn the Tableau, your data storytelling, your Microsoft Fabrics for analytics, and of course your ChatGPT for analytics, because we are currently in the world of AI, and you always want to know how to use AI in improving your efficiency and your productivity. That's what you need to know. But why should you get into any of this career path? Is being a data analyst good enough? Is being a financial analyst good enough? Of course, totally. As a data analyst or as a financial analyst, you are sure of numerous opportunities, because we did our research. We went ahead to scrape various job boards, and we saw that data analysts and financial analysts, there's so many opportunities. If you go on reads.k.uk right now and you search for data analyst roles, you would see nothing less than 100 new roles that were uploaded just today. And when you go to the site tomorrow, you would see another 100 roles. So that means that you can, if you decide that, you know what, I want to apply to 50 jobs per day, it's more than possible. Because the more you apply, the more your chances of getting that job. But we needed some sort of external validation. We needed another organization that at the moment is not connected to Tenalytics, that has done a similar research, and for them to tell us what they found. And we came across the job and the World Economic Forum. That's the future of jobs. This is a report that is out there and that you can get access to. All you need to do, just search for the World Economic Forum Future of Job Report, or you can click on this link to download the report as soon as you get access to the slides. And what we noticed is that on the report, the jobs by the left are jobs that are going to increase with demand, that there are so many opportunities available right now, and that with time, you would get more opportunities. So if you are scared, oh, AI is going to take my job, AI is going to take my job, you don't need to be scared about any of those things. Because in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, there are still going to be so many opportunities available. And the jobs by the right are those that would decline with opportunities, in terms of opportunities. Those by the left, so many opportunities available. Those by the right, not really the case. So we have the data analyst here. We can see the data analyst and scientist and also the business intelligence analyst, because as a data analyst, you can function as a business intelligence analyst, because you just learned about Power BI, and Power BI is a business intelligence tool. That's the name, Power Business Intelligence. And you also have the financial analyst listed there. So in case if you're wondering, should I be a data analyst? Are there opportunities in data analytics? Are there opportunities in financial analytics? Yes, there are numerous opportunities. But are there people that have been able to make that switch? Are there people that have been able to succeed where you're currently looking to succeed? Are there people that have gone through the program that have gone through the program and have succeeded by getting jobs? Yes, lots and lots of individuals. From Lois, that we were able to help to get a job as a project manager after going through the business analysis program, to Tony, that we were able to help get a job as a benefits analyst after going through the data analytics program, to Victor Bolajoko, that got a job as a financial analyst after going through the financial analyst program. So many opportunities, so many testimonials. I could dedicate an entire session to go through the people that we've been able to help get jobs. Over 2,500 professionals that we've been able to help transition from the classroom to land their first job in tech. As soon as you get the slides, you can go through all of these testimonials. All you need to do, just click on the link, listen to these guys, tell you how they were able to make that switch. So many testimonies. I could spend time going through all of this. We've even hosted sessions that had these people come on and they got to tell you how they were able to make that switch and how you can do the same. So as soon as you get access to the slides, please go ahead to listen to all of this so you get to know that, it is very, very possible. So many testimonials. For you to get a job, though, there's something that works, and I'm going to go into that. But to show you our commitment to helping you land a job, what we define as success is not you learning the skills. That is a given. You are going to learn the skills. But what we define as success is you actually getting that job. And we are very, very much successful in that regard. And we are looking to be even more successful. Hence the reason why we went for the Alberta Catalyzer program, which we were accepted into. Okay, we are accepted into the Alberta Catalyzer program, where we are looking to bring up initiatives to find ways to scale Tenalytics to be able to help even more Africans, even more people of the Black community transition into tech. And we were also featured in an article by Tech Cabal, and you can read that article here when you get access to the slides. Again, for you to get access to the slides, what do? Easy, simple. All you need to do, click on the link, that's the attendance link, fill in the form, so you get access to the slides, the materials, and everything you need. Okay, so we have a new course that begins, that's going to begin December 7th. Okay, we have a new cohort that would begin December 7th. And for you to be a part of that cohort, what do you need to do? I'm going to get there. But something I would want to talk about are the numerous the ways and the things that we've put in place that would help you in landing that job. Because I'm sure we all know about Kunle. I love to talk about Kunle. Okay. I don't think we have a Kunle on the call. Do we have a Kunle on the call? Let's see. Do we have a Kunle on the call? Okay, no Kunle. So we probably know Kunle. I know it's Kunle. Kunle is that friend that you know. Kunle is that friend that you know that went ahead to like 5 years ago. They told you that, oh, you know what? I'm actually learning. I'm learning data analytics, or I'm learning financial analytics. They learned the skills, and that was 5 years ago. Till now, Kunle does not have a job in tech. Kunle does not have a job in tech. Apologies. I'll bring that up again. So I think my slides just went off. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, so Kunle does not have a job in tech even now. And then you might be wondering, I know a friend that learns SQL. I know a friend that learns Power BI. I know a friend that learns all of these things that you're talking about now. But the person still does not have a job. So what will make me different? What would get me the job? What would make me be a part of those testimonials? It's easy. We know that for you to get a job, having the technical skills is not just enough. There's something else you need. And this is talking about the other 50%. For you to get a job, you need to have the skills. You need to have the technical skills. You need to be able to do the work that's a given. But you also need to be able to put yourself out there. Because it's one thing for you to do the job. It's something else entirely for a recruiter to believe you can do the job. It's one thing for you to be able to function as a financial analyst. And it's something else entirely for a recruiter to trust you with their financial data. That is the reason why we have the three-layered approach, starting with the level 1. And what does the level 1 entail? First of all, your CV review session. The CV review session would show you how you can have great CVs, how you can craft CVs that passes through the 2 roadblocks. Roadblock number 1 being the ATS, whereby you go ahead to apply for a job, and then you don't have a situation whereby the ATS is clicking on delete. So as soon as you click on send, to apply for the job, the ATS is clicking on delete, deleting your CV because it does not think you are a perfect match. The situation of things is that so many persons apply for jobs. They think that the reason they did not get an interview is because the recruiter did not like them, or the recruiter was not impressed with their CV. When the situation is actually the recruiter does not know you exist. The recruiter never even saw your CV because the ATS took out your CV as soon as you were applying. So you applied for a job and you are waiting to be called, when the reality of things is that you did not apply for that job. You clicked on send, and at the back end, delete was clicked on. So you get to learn how your CV can pass through the 2 roadblocks. Number 1, the ATS, and number 2, that when it gets to the palms of the recruiter, or when it gets to the screen of the recruiter, that the recruiter takes a look at your CV and knows that you are the one for the job and goes ahead to schedule an interview. The session will show you how you can convert your past experience into valuable experience. So let's say you work as a customer care rep. How do you convert that experience into data analytics experience? So you're coming from an angle of experience. Because at the end of the day, every recruiter wants experience. No, there's no such thing as an entry-level role. If that's what we're hoping to get, or I want to just learn and get an entry-level role, there's no such thing as an entry-level role. So we'll show you how you can get that experience. You have the LinkedIn optimization session. that would ensure that that would show you how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn is, I love to refer to LinkedIn as the Facebook of professionals, because you have so many recruiters on LinkedIn. I myself have recruited from LinkedIn so many times. So you want to ensure that you have a great LinkedIn profile, because nowadays your LinkedIn profile is also, it's not now the requirements that your LinkedIn profile be on your CV. So recruiters usually go to your LinkedIn profile to check what you've done, if you can deliver on what you are saying you can deliver on. And then if you're interested in freelancing, you want to learn about Upwork, you want to know how to freelance, the Upwork optimization session will show you how you can be a successful freelancer, how you can go ahead to write good proposals, how you can go ahead to spend connects. If you are familiar with Upwork, you know that Upwork has a currency system called Connect, where you apply to get jobs. So you pay to apply for to a job. So you have to pay to apply to a job, and that does not mean you're going to get the job, but you're paying to apply for the job using Connect. So you get to learn how to go about that. And in the navigating the job market session, some of us, we are new to a country, we just migrated, and you really don't understand the job terrain. The navigating the job market session with those individuals, with those professionals that will join the sessions, that will tell you what they did that helped them succeed in that market, in that climb, so you get to do those things. And they will tell you what they did that delayed their success, so you don't do those things. They'll tell you, oh, do you need to what the kind of job boards you should look out for, the kind of jobs you should apply for, how to apply for those jobs in that climb. And then once you've gone through 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of these things are meant to ensure that you do get an interview. And as soon as you've gotten an interview, you can then go ahead to schedule an interview prep session with us, a one-on-one session where you get to speak with a professional that will take you through the questions that you should expect, how you should go ahead to answer those questions. Questions like talk about your experience, talk about yourself when it comes to salary negotiation, to ensure that you are not just getting an interview, but at the end of the day, you do get that job. And many recruiters nowadays, they want a reference letter. So you've gotten the job, but they want someone to grant a reference. They want someone to tell them that, oh, I've worked with this person. This person is a great professional. They are very good. They are good enough. You can always reach out to us. As long as you're a participant or an alumnus within analytics, you are sure of getting well-crafted reference letter or the reference information. And for the level 2, we have the weekly mentorship session. Mentorship is very, very important. I cannot speak. I can't speak on and on and on about mentorship. And everyone on the call knows, oh, mentorship, I need a mentor. And so every week, you will be in the various mentorship sessions where you get to hear about new trends in the industry, new ways to apply for jobs, things that you might have been doing wrong, and ways that you can improve on those things to ensure you get the jobs. Sessions that would host recruiters that will come in to tell you what the job market is like for you to be able to succeed. And of course, when you get that job and you need help, you need guidance, so you've been given a task that is really not clear, and you need someone to take you through how to go about that, you can always reach out to us and we'll put you through, we'll tell you what to do. So you go back to work, and of course you do amazingly well. Now, I mentioned that the next cohort is beginning December 7th, and for you to be a part of that cohort, you need to make a commitment. And what is the commitment? You need to register. The registration fee is $750. So for you to be a part of the program, that's the data analytics program or the financial analytics program, the amount you need to pay is $750. Although at the moment, we are currently running a 20% discount for the first 20 persons to register. So if you are part of the first 20 persons to register for each program, you get to pay 20% less, paying $600 instead. Okay, paying $600 instead. And for you to make payments, I'm going to take you through. You click on the Mainstack link. So my colleague just dropped the link. So I'm going to show you what the link what's the payments platform looks like. Just give me a moment. Okay, so once you click on that link, it's going to take you to the main stack, the Tenalytics main stack page. That's the Tenalytics Enrollment Center. On the Enrollment Center, all you need to do, so you want to scroll down, you can see we still have the discounts running, the discount is still running. And then once you scroll down, you get to see the different programs that we offer. So let's say you want to register for the financial analytics program. You scroll over to financial analytics. So you search for financial analytics. So over here, you can see register for financial analytics. So you click on register for financial analytics. And then that would open up. So you can make payments. So let's see if we still have discount slots available. Okay, so we still have discounts available. So we currently have 9 seats available. Okay, so we have 9 discount slots available in the financial analytics program. So if you're looking to make payments, ensure you do that as soon as possible. And you can also break your payments down into multiple installments. So you can make a one-time payment if you're looking to do that, or you can break that down into 2 installments or 3 installments. So if you decide to go with 3 installments, you can just go ahead, you select 3 installments, and then you get to pay $200 every month for the next 3 months. So if you make payments today, let's say today is the 14th, next month, on the 14th of next month, you get to make your second payment, and then January next year, you get to pay the balance. Okay, so you can go ahead to make payment. So all you do, just click on the link, click on proceed to pay. It's actually for your card details. So you insert all of the details. And then once you make payments, you are going to get an automated email. An email will be sent to you with your receipts and a link for you to complete your registration. You click on the link, you insert your payment, you click on the link, you upload your receipt, insert your details, and then you click on submit. And then you would get a confirmation email from us that would contain everything you need to be a part of the program, your welcome kits, the different links to be a part of the classroom, the communities, and everything for you to be a part of the program. So you want to ensure you register as quickly as possible. Again, we've been able to help so many persons transition. Discount is only for the first 20 persons to register. Okay, so once you get off the slides, you can go through the testimonials. Okay, so many testimonials, so many people we've been able to help. We cannot place all of the testimonials on the slides, really. Okay, so please ensure you register as quickly as possible. As you can see, for the financial analytics program, we had just 9 slots left. I hope you enjoyed the session today. I hope we had a nice time. Any questions for me? So if you have a question, you can use the raise hand icon, and now I will take your question. Okay, so if you have a question, you can use the raise hand icon, and I'll call on you. I will ask you to unmute so you can ask your question. Okay, seems we don't have any question, but I hope we had a nice time. At least now we've learned how to work with Power BI. We know how to build a report. We know how to deploy a report. And of course, we know how to automate a report. Thank you very much, Jojo. So Jojo had a nice time. What about the rest of us? More responses? Okay, so was it just Jojo? Okay, was it just Jojo? No other person had a nice time. Is that the case? Oh, it seems that's the case. Okay. Wow. Okay. Any questions? Do we have questions? Oh, thank you very much, Dabilola. Okay, thank you, Dabilola. It seems we don't have any other questions. Please, let's ensure we register as quickly as possible. Something we tell our kids so many times, I'm going to be telling it to you right now. Quick says the clock. Whatever it is you have to do, ensure you do quick. And with that, I will see you some other time. Cheers, guys.